show now since I've been doing it for seven episodes.
I know, right? Okay. What up, y'all? Welcome to What They Won't Say. I'm UA. Y'all know me. Of course, I have.
This is Courtney Lynette. How y'all doing today? Today we are joined with...
my name is Becki.
And...
Brandon.
Oh man, we know how this is about to go.
So, Becki and Brandon are new to our podcast. Becki is standing in today. As you guys know, we are short one host. So, Becki has graciously decided to join us today as one of our guest hosts. And then we have Mr. Brandon Anderson, also known as B. He's with us today because he got a lot of special things going on in the world these days. So we want to talk a little bit with him about that. I'm going to turn it back over to UA.
Okay. So first of all, I want to talk about the new setup. That's before we even get into it. I want to talk about this new setup we got going on. For right now, this is it. We're going to get it. It's going to evolve in the coming months. So y'all just bear with us. Stay tuned. So, yeah, here we go.
I got a stand or something I can put this on.
What's that?
Yeah, I got a stand or something I can put this on.
Oh, B's trying to go live.
You trying to go live? I mean, you can lean up against that airwick, I guess. Shoot.
So we just wanted to go out with a bang. You know, with growth comes changes. So we're going to be changing things up a little bit. I do want to hand it over to Brandon. You have something coming up this weekend, right? That,
That's
it happened? This
Tuesday.
Tuesday is Christmas
Okay.
Eve.
So
by the time
Christmas
this airs,
it
will have passed. But unfortunately, we missed out on the recording date. But Brandon, tell us a little bit about. Tell us a little bit about what you had going on when you get situated. As we've been saying since episode 1, we don't have a bartender. We don't have anybody delivering us stuff. So we get up and do our own shit. So, excuse us while we get prepped.
Can I apply for that?
Absolutely. It don't pay anything. It's more like an internship.
Free drinks.
You get free drinks.
I'm with it.
We'll provide the bottles.
Alright.
We got a bartender, Malik. We got a bartender.
We do?
We do.
Oh, shoot. See, look.
Becky said all she needs is free drinks. Pay her in drinks, she'll deliver them.
All right, we down.
We got an Uber drink driver.
Uber drinks.
So here we go. Now we set up and good. So, B, what you got going on? Tell them about it.
I'm doing a blanket drive to give out to the homeless and less fortunate on Christmas Eve. It's something I've been doing. This will be the 4th year I do it. And, Christmas Eve I do it. That's a start date. That's the big day when everybody come out and we do it. But every weekend for the rest of the winter, Saturday evenings I go around different homeless communities where I know they be at, and I pass out blankets to them or pass out food to them and things like that. And it all started, me and my bro Hitman with James Austin, we was riding one day and we rolled past Moore Square. We seen the whole family, they were all homeless, they were just sitting outside. And he was like, Dad, that's messed up. Then he came up with the idea while we kept driving. He was like, well, how about this year? We'll collect blankets all summer and everything, and we'll give them out Christmas Eve in the wintertime. Unfortunately, I was arrested probably a month or so later, and he got murdered 2 months after that. So, so when I got out of prison, at the very end of 2016, it was about, it was like right before Christmas when I got out, and I decided to do it again, and to do that in honor of him. So in honor of my brother James Austin, I'm still doing this right now. I've been doing it every year since then, since I've been out. Like I said, it's my 4th year. This is the first year I actually got recognition. Somebody asked me about it, and they sent the story to the newspaper and all that, and they got on News and Observer, and it's been crazy ever since then.
You like a local celebrity.
Hey man, look,
crazy, so.
I actually seen the crazy part about this is we all went to high school together.
Uh-huh.
All of us, we've known each other for ever,
Yeah.
right? Ever. Some of us probably went to middle school together,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I was sitting at work one day and I actually seen his story, and I was like, "Yo, that's my man right there." And I work with a lot of other type of people, right? So working with them, they look at us differently. So when they see him as a young black man with dreads down his back, they look at him as a totally different person than who he truly is. You know what I mean? And then when you also throw in the whole he's been in jail and all that stuff, that throws a whole nother personality into him. But me, Brandon, that is not like what I see you as that dude that got caught up in something. Like I tell anybody about knowing him, I'm like, yo, my man come from where he come from, but he people, bro. Like he cool. Like he didn't care about who you were, what you look like. If he fuck with you, he fuck with you. So when I seen you on TV doing your thing, man, on some other shit, it made me proud as hell to see you up there, man. And to know you, to see you up there as a young black man with dreads down your back, proving them others different, and to know that I can say, I know B.
Right.
Yeah.
It made it totally different.
And I think on one hand, it's awesome because these past 11 years since we've graduated, we've seen a lot of people in the news that have went to jail or who aren't with us today and stuff like that. So to see someone that we went to school with that was in our age range that is actually doing something so positive, it made it that much better. And I want to be clear, this is not the only thing that Brandon does. He has gotten recognition for other things, and we're going to jump into that a little bit later. Like, I know you don't ever want to be judged for your past, but your past is what got you to this position here, and now you're getting all this recognition. So I was hoping that you would talk to us a little bit about your past, because it's going to segue into how we talk about today's you.
Okay, no problem.
So tell us a little bit about your history.
Yeah,
a little bit. Just a little bit.
Wait. Before we get into that, because I also want to talk about I have had to check people about B over here. So you know where I'm at, B. So yeah, I've had to check people. They see your story. Like I said, he's also he's been on WRL.
Yes,
As
that's
right. Recently.
Yep. So
every time I see the story, I see it come up, I get excited because we all know about your past. So we out here. So I just want to let you know, I'm checking people left and right. Like, it's definitely more than meets the eye.
And you're not doing it for clout, so it makes it that much better.
Right.
And if y'all see it on Facebook, I have to repost that so it can spread even more.
Please.
Facts.
Please. Yeah. So now tell us about
about
where you been since Brian?
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, I mean, everybody know. I grew up, man. Well, when I was in school, we go back though. Even before then, at a young age, I became like a product of my environment. I got in the streets and I got into gang banging and stuff like that, and I was full throttle in that for a long time. And it led me to prison like right after I graduated, not long after I graduated. So actually, that whole thing, the media attention and stuff for what I do now, it actually feel good to finally be on the news for something other than going to prison.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's a good thing. But that's where I went, and that's where it led me to. It led me to prison and the streets and things like that. I've been to prison 3 times, so that was like very big experience. So it was just like my son. I found out when I was locked up the first time. I found out I had a son. He was 18 months when I found out about him. So it was nothing like that. Like I was being a deadbeat or anything like that. It's just me and his mother. We met actually in Broughton, and we used to mess around, and she got pregnant and moved away, and then I moved to another side of town. So when she come back, she didn't know how to contact me or nothing. So she found out about me. She seen me. She found out where I was at because she seen me on the news, and she knew I was locked up. And I found out I had a son. Then that was it was like, dang, like I got a son. and I'm facing a life sentence. So at that time, I didn't know what was gonna happen or how it was gonna happen. I was facing like 40 years in prison, and so that was different because it's like, well, dang, I'll probably never get to see my son. But you know, fortunately, it came out better than what I expected. I did 5 years, and I got out and I seen my son. Like, I was seeing him while I was in prison, but to actually see him when I was out, it gave me a different look at life. To actually, like, you know, see somebody who just idolized me, just follow me everywhere and everything like that. It just gave me a different outlook at life. So I wanted to do better and things like that. And my foot, I had a foot halfway out the door still. I'm trying to do right with my son, but I'm still doing street stuff, stuff that I knew. Yeah, so it was what I knew and stuff like that, and to be around my gang and be around the homies and stuff, and continue to get in trouble with them, and that's what I continued to do. And then I got back locked up for like another year. Then I came home and I was doing good. I was mentoring kids, which I still do now. Mentoring kids and, you know, doing all right, but I was still in the streets. I was still hustling and stuff like that. And then they locked me up again.
Laughing.
Yeah.
We're not laughing at you.
It's like a revolving door, man.
Yeah, and that's what happened with a lot of people. I want to say this too. People that say how dudes like going back to prison because they always go back and stuff like that, but it's not like that. This is when you're going away for a while, your mind is always stuck on when you left. So if you left with money, you left with this and left with that, even though you know it's gone away from you, no matter what you see on TV, no matter what people tell you on the phone and this and that, your mind is still stuck on when you left. So that's how the revolving door happened, because when the person in their mind, they still got this, they still got that, and then they get out and reality hit, they ain't got nothing. So then it's easy for them to jump back in the game and jump back doing this and doing that, and that's how it happened and that's how it goes. So this time around for me, when I came home this time, it was just I told my son, he talked to me. He's about 9 or 10 when I got home this time, and he talked to me about going to prison and stuff. And I told him, I promised him I wouldn't leave him anymore. So, you know, that's what made me strap down and want to, you know, just do the right thing and stuff like that. So that's how that part happened. And that's how I got here while doing what I do now. But like I said, the thing that happened with my friend, that played a major part in, you know what I'm saying? That's the purpose of the blanket drive, the OK blanket drive. That's only our kind. That's something, an organization he started a long time ago, and you know, so I do that in honor of him. So yeah, that's where that came from.
If people want to donate blankets,
you already there with me. Yeah, you read my mind.
If people want to donate blankets, even throughout the rest of the winter, because by the time this airs, this is going to be after Christmas Eve. So if people want to send you blankets or send you money to get blankets or anything like that, where or how can they reach you?
Well, they can hit me on Messenger, Facebook. My name is Brandon Anderson, but what's my email? Brandon Anderson 477@gmail.com. My wife, she made an email for the OK blanket drive, but I forgot it already.
It's called OK?
Yeah.
Okay, so make sure, like, when you do it, like, when you get the email, send it to one of us so we can put it in the description
when we share it. Yeah. And we'll tag you and everything in it.
Yep. So that'd be good.
Yeah.
So now, y'all got it. That's B. That's his story. All right. And that, like I said, that's going to go into pretty much what we're going to talk about today. And I got some stories for it, too.
It's water, too.
It's water. Yeah.
Everybody knows
just like my water.
Yeah.
Holy water.
Let's talk about kids today. All right. We the main subject is pretty much kids today. All right. We are in a society with kids, I'm gonna be the first one to say kids
are fucked up.
Yeah, they
like they
Like,
hear what they
fucked up
won't.
how, though? Like,
Hear
fucked up
what they
how?
won't say. We don't really care. I'm gonna give y'all a good example, okay? I give y'all a good example because it happened to me a couple months ago, I guess. I'm picking up my daughter. My daughter's in mentoring. I went to go pick her up. They
How
in
old is
line
she?
to
How old
get-
is she?
She's not. She's not.
Alright.
They in line to go get whatever snacks or whatever bucks they use to do whatever they gotta do. And I'm standing in line with her. I'm sitting there talking to her. You know, this little kid jumps in front of the line, jumps in front of her.
That's me kicking the ass in the
And
back.
she said, yeah. And that's I'm already in like, I'm gonna have to kick a kid ass. But then one of the mentors comes up and tells him that he was wrong. The first thing he does is turn around and he's like, yo, what up, bruh? Stop playing with me, yo. And all I could think to myself is, why? Not like I went from wanting to punch this kid in the face to wondering like what got him to that point. So, and I'm asking this honestly, like what gets them to that point? Like, does anybody know?
Hey, you want me?
If you
My
got
theory,
something, let's
my
speak on
theory
it.
is real shit. Is kids having kids.
right.
Okay.
Kids having kids having kids having kids.
Well, it depends
when
though.
when your grandma is 32, bro. When you
True.
hit the club
Hey.
with your
That's
grandma,
true. I get it.
You feel,
But
you feel me? When you hit the club with
But
your grandma.
I was 19 when I had my son.
Yeah, but
I was a child.
But your mom wasn't 32.
This is true though, but I'm saying it's not necessarily kids having kids. It's the way those kids that have kids were brought up.
Well, and I agree. And just like Brandon mentioned, the fact of like his environment. So what I do for a living, we go into people's homes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I see that grandma's raising whatever. I have that in my own family. That grandma's raising my nephew. My mom's raising my nephew. You feel me?
Right.
So it's one of those points too. So it's kids raising kids. You got 15-year-olds that got kids, 16-year-olds that got kids,
12-year-olds that got kids.
Yeah, they don't know who they raising. They barely know how to wipe their own ass.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then these kids are the ones that's in an environment that what are they teaching? We were fortunate to have parents and stuff like that that's gonna be like, nah, bitch, you gonna get up and wash your ass.
Exactly.
You gonna get up and do this, right? But then we also have our boy Brandon, who we all fuck with, we were raised with, that just said my environment taught me everything.
Right.
You feel me? So you're like the environment and then kids having kids, that's where it's at.
Okay, you got this.
Yeah, there's certain stuff with that. People will tell you it's in. It started at home and stuff like that. It all play a part.
Yes.
Right.
Home play a part. Environment, but a child's biggest influence are their friends.
Oh, hell
That's
yeah.
true.
Hell yeah.
That's
their
that's
biggest
another thing. You
influence.
got
So,
it.
you could tell your kid anything. I was gang banging. I think I was like 14.
Mm-hmm.
My mother never found out I was gang banging until I think I was 20 and I got locked up for murder.
And she was like,
So,
wait a
like,
minute.
For murder at 20, like.
come on.
Yeah, so
She was all confused. Came home from work.
Yeah.
Murder. Hell.
My bitch. Right.
yeah, she still didn't find out then until my brother and like people was just talking about it, you know. So it's like you could hide. Kids gonna it's like this: a child when they old enough or when they get to the point where they know they could do stuff and get away with it and hide it from their parents, that's when they start doing it.
Yeah.
So it's not. Yeah, I hear that well from my mother, because my mother ain't play that game stuff. My mother ain't play none of that shit. She ain't do none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? She knew it.
That's
You
So
know
let me
that.
ask you, like, were you like two different people? Like, you go to Broughton and you was B?
First of all, he went to Broughton. Like,
First of all, we all went to Broughton.
Broughton was a white. Like,
I-
we knew what Brandon was, but I'm
You know
pretty
what?
sure his mama
But
didn't
that's
know.
what I'm saying. Like, were you like B when you went to Broughton and then you was just like, you were Brandon when you got home?
But
Like, we
Brandon,
were-
it was Brandon Anderson at home.
When I got older, old enough, like, you know, my mother even knew me as B then, but
Okay.
she didn't know me as B.
Yeah. But like on some real shit,
I
even
need to
that
tuck the
Broughton.
bandana when I go in the house. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
That's like, you know, college girls when they get their little tattoos.
Right.
They go home and they gotta hide their shit. They don't wear certain clothes. But even at school though,
It's
Before you set that back up, can I get that?
Yeah.
Even at school though, even though we knew Brandon as B, man, and we knew the shit that he was getting into. Hey, I've never seen the sweetest fucking gangbangers a day in my life except for at Bronx, bro. Like, think about all the motherfuckers that was not saying they won't
Bloods
get into
and Crips though,
and they was chilling. Like, not saying y'all won't get into some shit outside of school, but at school, I was like,
people, and that's the thing,
nice.
like, so I guess that brings back, like, okay, so you like you said, is it the people that the kids are around? Like, what is it?
Everything play a part in it, because it's like this. When growing up, I seen a lot of times where you might see that one bad child in the neighborhood, and a lot of the parents be like, y'all don't play with him because he always getting in trouble.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, a child biggest influence is their friends. So my mother never told me that. You know what I'm saying? My mother, she's big on that. She never just left a child out there like that.
Right.
He gonna come in here and he can do what he's supposed to do too. So, you know what I'm saying? I always been like that. My son, his friends is my friends as well. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, so like, I want him to feel comfortable enough around me, as to where he feel comfortable around me, and you know, like, cause regardless of what, if I tell my son don't hang with these kids, they gonna do it. He gonna do what he want to do anyway. He ain't gonna do it in my face, but he gonna go to school and sneak and hang with them. So,
right.
Guess what? Like, if it's one child out there that's been bad and stuff like that, and everybody throw him out, everybody take their kids and throw him out there, now we just lost a child. You know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't your child or your responsibility, but at the same time, he is.
That's another thing. Just to piggyback off of that, I think that's another reason why it's so many lost kids out here. Because I'm from the era, and the way I am is, don't bring your kid around me if I can't discipline your kid. Because if I see somebody do something, if it's against my child or not, I'm going to say something. Like, at the end of the day, it takes a village, and it's a whole bunch of chiefs out here and not enough Indians. It's not a community effort to raise these kids. So they out here basically doing what they want to do.
You know,
and I don't appreciate that.
And it's funny you said that, so let me jump off of that. Because what you just said is kind of funny. Like, the village does not raise a child anymore. We in a world where the village does not raise a child anymore. And if you do something like my friend, y'all know, if any of y'all know Rocky, my friend Rocky. But you know Rocky.
Which one?
You know.
Well, damn, how many Rockies are there? Hey, look, there's another one in my bag.
There's another one in the bag. So
you take the army bag, bro.
Check that. I'm gonna get one of those. So, but my point is, she has kids, okay? Love her kids to death, love them both. But when they come in the house, it's kind of funny. It got to a point where I let them know, like, yo, when you, when they come to my house, it's like, I'm like, hey kids, what's my rule? And they'll both say it together. You beat other people's kids.
You know?
That's my rule.
Hey, my nephew told me the other day that he got like bullied, I guess, on the bus, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, why didn't you tell me or grandma? He goes, well, y'all both told me y'all fight kids, so I didn't want y'all to get in trouble.
Right.
And I was like, man, no, that's not what I mean, but you're right.
Hold on, I wanna address somebody real quick. The Facebook Live viewers, yes, that gigantic booty y'all just seen walk by, that was Courtney.
That was
not necessary. That was not necessary.
But I think it goes back to, like, Courtney made an excellent point to feed into what we're saying about, like, kids having kids. We speak on how our mothers raised us on the fact of, like, if your friends come over, she gonna treat your friend the same way she treats you, right? Mm-hmm. That we gonna all eat, y'all take all dishes to everybody's the same, it don't matter. Mm-hmm. And Courtney know firsthand, when me and Courtney, when we were in 8th and 9th grade, we were like this. Courtney came over, and guess what? My mom washed her clothes the way she washed my clothes. Hands down, right? Courtney was
Becki was the only house I was allowed to spend the night at. Like, right? That was it.
But the different...
It wasn't that. It was
playing.
My mama knows crazy motherfuckers out here.
But,
so she was like, nah.
But the point of what I'm trying to say is that, like, now we raise our kids or our nephews or whatever the same way that our mamas raised us. Your kid coming over, he gonna act the same way my kid acts. But if you never been taught that, which is a lot of people haven't been taught that, then they're gonna raise their kids the same way as that. You know what I mean? Not saying it's right, but they're only gonna do what they have been taught to do.
Right.
And it's a lot of parents out here just letting I don't know if I can use this reference since we don't got Kev no more, but they let Johnny go spend the night at little Kevin's house, and they don't have to meet their parents. And
we never
little Johnny and little Kevin is out here plotting, and that's how school shootings and shit happen. That's all I'm saying.
My mama got to meet your parents.
Exactly.
Right.
Just like daddy.
If you had a daddy or a brother in the house when I was younger, I ain't spend that in
Exactly.
Right.
That's my mama's question. Is it a man that lived there? What her mama do? Does her mama work nights?
Mm-hmm.
Can you go over there? Will her mama be there at all times? Like, those are questions that we have to go through. So now when Jaden come up to me and he'd be like, Mommy, can such and such spend a night? Nah, I don't know their mama. Well, can you meet them? Yeah, if they're open to meeting me and having a conversation. But they gotta know, once your child crosses my threshold and they eating my food and I'm responsible for their life, if they do some shit, they getting their ass beat.
Right.
Simple as that.
But that goes back to what you said, that village.
Yeah.
We're like, the way that we're talking right now, that's that village. Because, AB, if I invite your son over to hang out with my nephew, guess what? I'm going to tell you afterwards, like, if your son got a hand, I had to put... Not
exactly.
I ain't gonna put no hands on nobody's kids, but I had to redirect him and let him know what the deal is. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and the other thing is, nowadays, kids are getting away with murder. Like,
legit.
For some reason, like, these parents believe that their kids are holier than thou. Like, you know, if I tell you your kid is messing with my kid, they looking at me like, not my kid.
Right, my kid wouldn't do that. Like,
that's not, but that's what we're telling you. How about we talk about that instead of pretending that your teacher, or that your kid is not doing the things that, you know, we're saying they're doing.
Right.
Teachers getting in trouble, like these kids that sit up here fighting teachers and stuff like that. They gonna fight the teacher. They clearly in the teacher's face. Shout out to all the teachers.
Yeah, for real.
Y'all got the
They clearly in the teacher's face and pushing them, like this one recently. Like I said, that one recently where the kid was like all up in the teacher's face, and the teacher finally, like, he pushed the teacher. The teacher grabbed him and threw him into the desk.
That's what it was.
Now they looking at the teacher like she crazy. Thank goodness the kid got arrested eventually. But then they're on the news story, and the mom could clearly see the video, but she's still sitting up there talking about not my kid. Y'all gotta be kidding me.
That's one thing I know. I know my nephew was like my nephew's like my son. Right. Like, my nephew's my little boy. Man, I know him. So if a teacher like, yo, he doing this and this, I'm like, all right, I got you. Because I know my nephew. Like, I know what he's capable of doing. Now, if you say something out of character, I'm going to question him. I'm going to ask him, because we do got some teachers out there that be trying, especially as like our young black men. They try them in school because they want them to fail. So if you say he doing something character, I'm gonna ask my nephew, and my nephew don't lie to me, because like I said, we don't play that don't play that shit in my house.
Right. And if he do lie, you know when he lying.
Hell yeah,
right.
He too light skinned up too. That shit start getting red and shit.
Silly.
Yeah.
And I'm saying and I feel like it needs to start with, you have to have respect for authority figures.
Right.
All authority figures. I'm not talking about the police.
Right there.
I'm not talking about all of that stuff. I'm talking about if I'm 32. I'll put my age out there. And if I see a 12-year-old, I'm old. I know. Y'all shut up. Yeah, am I older than all y'all?
Yeah.
Huh?
Oh, yeah, big.
Right here with me. Thank you. I finally got somebody up here with me.
I'm the youngest.
But my point is,
yeah, you are the youngest.
My point is, like, if my son goes to hang out with B's son, and they out there together, I expect my son to adhere to anything that B says.
Right.
If it's within the range, of course.
Right.
If he tell you, hey, don't do that, and then you go do it again, and he do something like pop your hand, the first thing I'm gonna do is look at you and be like, you supposed to look at your child and be like, what did you do to make him do that? Because I believe in my heart of hearts that he would not do that for no reason.
Right.
Not to mention that I know him.
Right.
As an adult, I know him as an adult. Same with Courtney, same thing across the board.
Right.
We do it, hey, your kids need to respect authority figures, period.
So
there it is.
The thing that irritates me with today's generation is it just seems to be an overall lack of respect.
Oh yeah, man. Oh,
like, if I don't care if I walk up to a kid in the middle of the store because he's cursing. First of all, my son got one time to curse at me, public or private. It's videos out here where parents are encouraging their children to curse because it's cute and it's funny. My son got one time, and if he don't lose all the teeth in his mouth, then it's a problem. Because I don't play those respect games. Like, if I trust somebody enough to watch my son, he needs to know to listen to them. Because at the end of the day, I wouldn't put my son in a position to be around somebody that wouldn't show him respect, so therefore he has to show them respect back. Like, I tell Jaden all the time, I had a conversation with him because he'd be following behind his cousins. So we made Jaden look up the definition of what an accessory to a crime means. Because at the end of the day, that's essentially what it is. And you're black. Your cousins are mixed, but they're still black. But you're black because your skin tone shows you're black. Yep. They can pass for white on a pale day, but you're black
on a winter day.
Right. Like around this time, they start getting lighter, right? So at the end of the day, if you following behind somebody else and somebody rob a store and you are an accessory either during the crime or after the fact, you need to know what those repercussions is, because you're getting to that age where you need to understand what's going to happen to you. And as a black man, it's going to hit you harder.
Yes, facts.
So I'm getting into that situation now where I tell him, like, even when you're with a police officer, if you get stopped by a police officer, I don't give a fuck about none of your pride. Yeah. Come home to me. I will help you fight it. Just make it back home to me without a bullet. That's all I ask you to do.
I was fortunate to have my dad's a retired detective, so I was fortunate to have that discipline somewhat in me. But the one thing my dad always taught, and I have 3 brothers, right? And I'm the only girl. Shout out to me actually being a female, y'all. I am a girl.
You have the part,
but I got the swag.
Your name didn't give it away?
Yeah. Hey, look. Hey, shit be questionable now.
It's 2019. Hey, don't give Malik
Time out. Hey, I went to Brian. Time out. Malik, yo, I died when you called it the alphabet shit. The alphabet?
I don't know.
I have never heard that shit in my life. As long as I've been a part of it, all right, back to the stuff. But like, I was fortunate to have a father that was a part of that shitting it, the fucking group of officers, right? And I respect them. And he always taught us.
Shout out, Pops.
Yeah, I know. Shout out to Daddy. He always taught us though. And I don't give a fuck if you did it or you didn't do it. They say you do exactly what they say, and we figure that shit out afterwards.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And I get it. I work side by side with officers. Trust me, because there'll be some times I want to throw hands with officers. Like, I get it, but I'd rather have my brothers home than to worry about what color bag, white or black, they zipping the fuck up because you want to run your mouth at that point. You know what I mean? So my dad taught us early. It don't matter if you did it or you didn't do it. Do what you gotta do. Get down, and you can come the fuck home. Right. I'll take care of all that shit afterwards.
Exactly.
And that's a hard lesson to learn when you come from hands down, when you come from certain parts of the world, that is hard to understand. When them motherfuckers, all they want to do is pick and pride at the motherfucking line. Like, that shit's hard.
Yeah, that shit scared me I'll be scared as hell for my son, ain't it?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's sad. That's the world we live in. Let me tell y'all too, because I'm from Brooklyn, New York. Whether y'all believe it or not, I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I was raised. Nobody really does.
I'm from Brooklyn.
And I ain't know that.
We don't tell about shit.
And when I say I'm from Brooklyn, I don't mean I'm from Bed-Stuy, born and raised. I have family on both sides of the law. I mean, I have brothers who have done time.
Hell yeah.
And I have a dead brother, may he rest in peace. And I have, I have me, my brothers, and my sister, like it's all of us. So there have been times, my dad did 27 years in Rikers Island. 27 years on Rikers Island. And so a lot of that stuff, looking at my brothers, looking at my other brother, then looking at us, and they have kept me from going on certain paths. There was a specific time where, like, you know, injustice was always a thing, but it wasn't really a big thing like it is now, like Trayvon Martin started, like when Trayvon Martin started it. But, you know, my cousin and I, walking down the street in the Ridge, I don't know, Courtney, I don't even know if you were there anymore when this happened, but my cousin and I, shout out to my cousin Dwayne, walking down the street, the people were sticking up cabs. We walking around, me and my cousin just happened to have on white tees and blue jeans.
Cause that's what
that
it was.
was the
That.
thing.
That was
That's what it was. It was during the time of the white tee.
Look, hey, low-key, Brandon got on a white tee and blue
jeans
jeans
right now.
Black kids, white tees, blue jeans. All I can think to
baggy.
myself is, please let me do what I'm supposed to do to get out of this situation. Do whatever they say. I told one of the little kids, we looked up to in the neighborhood, yo, tell my mom what's going on, because my mom was right down the street. I couldn't even get to her. We were right there. But all I knew is that I needed to do what I was told so that I can get back home and deal with it after that.
Yep.
Stop raising your kids to be afraid or fight the power, fuck the police, blah, 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 all that stuff. Stop doing that. Get them to a point where, just like Becki said, do what you gotta do to get back home. Courtney said, do what you gotta do to get back home.
Now, Brandon,
deal with it afterward. Since
you've had, like, because I'm the real.
I ain't never had that experience.
Only experience I had with the cops is working
Parking
hand in
ticket.
hand.
I only had a parking ticket. A
I got
speeding
pulled
ticket.
over that one time, but it was like, hey, look at the badge in the back. So what is like on some real life shit?
Yeah.
How do you feel? Because I'm sure you feel different than we
and
feel.
And you mentor kids, so it's
yes,
kids out
how do
here
you
that
feel about that?
I mean, I'm gonna tell my child the same way. Do it, you know. Listen to him. Like, if you ever pulled over, so you know to listen to him. You know.
Right.
Hell, I'm gonna listen to him.
Yeah,
right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But one thing, thank God for technology. I'm gonna go live.
Right.
And I'm gonna listen to him. I'm gonna let the world see me listen to him in case something happens.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
And
I always, you know, I'm gonna tell my child to respect the adult. Period. Especially if, you know, they telling you something right, but in that case with the cops, just like don't talk to them, but do what they say.
Right. Just respect authority at the end of the day. Respect authority at that time.
They tell you to put your hands behind your back. Don't turn around. What the fuck I gotta do that?
Thank you.
I done did that. I done got my ass whooped for that.
Thank you.
The cops beat me up plenty of times. So
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather, even though I did what I felt was right at the time, and some of it probably was right.
Right.
It was wrong because, you know, like they say, you're supposed to respect them, but. You know, as a teenager, they mind pumping and stuff. You ain't thinking about that. You just mad at the fact that they fucking with you for no reason.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but like you said, I would rather my son come home that night than, you know, without a bullet. From the cop, you know what I'm saying? So.
Cause they fucking.
And there's a lot of people out here that abuse that. They abuse
scared
their
for my
power.
son because, you know, he don't get in trouble.
But you ain't gotta be doing shit.
I know.
You ain't got. You can be sneezing too hard nowadays, and motherfuckers.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So
exactly. So it just be scary though, cause I don't want none of that to fall back on him. Or, you know, like I damn sure don't want my reputation to fall on him, cause I still get harassed from cops that were harassing me when we were going to Broughton.
Right.
So
well, hopefully your new reputation,
yeah,
will outshine. Which it,
I try to change that.
You know what's crazy too? If y'all ever like for anybody watching, if you ever really listen to the WRL, like actually like what they're saying, they throw out that he's a gang member. But they throw out that he is, I would say, a reformed gang member.
That's how they worded it.
They worded it as a reformed gang member. Shout out! I actually watched it. I'm not the one to see the post, right?
True, yeah.
And because when I talk about this with one of the guys I work with, we talk about like, you know, black and white men, and you got these white men doing their thing, shooting up whoever they fucking want to, and it's always a mental issue. They got a mental issue, but then we got this black man who did his thing, shot up whatever, and it's always like, let's bring out his fucking rap sheet and what he did when he was 4 years old.
Right.
You know what I mean? And now, for one time in our fucking lifetime, we have this Brandon, because it ain't whatever. It's Brandon who has a past that they're using as a positive point in your life, because you flip that and you say, yo, this is what I did, this is where I came from, this is what I did in life, but I'm about to flip that and teach the guys below me not to walk in that same path.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, we don't want them Air Force Ones, we want them J's on their feet now. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? I'm taking those shoes off and putting these J's on their feet to make sure that they walk in the correct path. Like, gang banging ain't where it's at. Even though don't get me wrong, it's a brotherhood that you look for that love. You know what I mean? And that's what, if you know the history of gang banging, it wasn't about the crime. It was about just showing love to each other and having a family. Because most people that were originally in gangs, their mama and daddy go out doing their own thing. You feel me? They just turn into something different, just like every other fucking organization out there. Yep. You know what I mean? They turn into something totally different, you know? So shout out to you of actually having other people view it as somewhat a positive thing that you're doing with your life right now.
I mean, I ain't gonna say how people will put it, gang banging is bad and stuff like that. I mean, we get bad stuff happen in it. You know, bad stuff happen.
Right.
Bad stuff happening going to school sometimes. You know?
Right.
So it just gave you, it'll of course put that bad image on you. But like I said, you know, as far as the gang banging go and the gang member status and stuff like that, like I said, that's always here. That's gonna always be here. But I'm not active no more. I'm not out here in the street putting in work and shooting people and stuff like that. No, I don't do that stuff no more. You know what I'm saying? But as far as being what I am and all this and who I am, that's gonna be forever. I'm gonna always be who I am. I'm gonna always be affiliated, you know. But you know, I just, you know, I tell the boys all the time, I'm out here for y'all. I'm just not out here with y'all.
Right,
you know? So that's how I put that.
And it's funny, but like, you know, you're throwing a blanket jar, right? People knew you in the streets. People knew, you know, who you were. But that's not gonna. But that shouldn't stop anybody who is quote unquote, you know, who is active to be like, yo, let's go give away some blankets too.
Right.
I'm not gonna turn you away because I know you associate.
No, that's who you know.
No, because you a person.
That's
at the
what
end of the
come
day,
to help me a lot. These past years, there's always a lot of times like gang members and stuff like that, like OGs, little homies, everything.
Right.
You know, it's all hell in, you know.
I think
I've
that's
been
dope.
loved forever. A lot of these dudes, Crips that come out and help me, you know.
Right.
It's all love. I love everybody, you know.
And that's what, at the end of the day, I feel like that right there is what matters. I'm not telling you, you know, oh, as long as you're positive, go join the gang.
No,
man. Not saying that. No. A lot of times we talk, like I said,
you ain't in it, don't get in it.
Right.
Honestly, I'm 32 and some people older than me that just getting in it. Like
what?
What
Like
what?
the fuck did they do? What role do they play in this shit?
It's like a silver star. Like, I'm not. Let me stop playing.
No, bro, but that's the serious question. Like, what the fuck do you do? Do they cook well? Because I understand.
Not cook well.
What's your boy?
What do I look like being 38 being jumped
What
into
fat,
anything?
yo?
Ain't nobody beating my ass at 38.
I'm gonna have a heart attack if I get jumped in today at 30. Like
I tell the kids I mentor all the time, I would recommend you don't. Some of them are already in it, so all I can tell you is make the best decisions. Try to make the best decisions, man. But you know, honestly, like if you ain't there, there's really no need to go in there unless you at a point where you feel like you got to do it, or it ain't nothing left for you out here in this world. But it's always something left.
Thank you. I was just about to say that.
Now, do you think that programs that you have, or programs that like say shit, I want to start a basketball program for a gangbang. I don't fucking know. Do you think I want to start basketball?
No, go ahead. I was thinking about something.
Oh, do you think that programs like that will actually help the like? I like to call it an organization because that's what the fuck it is,
Yeah.
right? Will help the organization be a more like positive organization than it's viewed as.
Because let's
like,
be clear,
back to,
any youth out there, being a blood is not about picking up a gun.
No,
That's not that doesn't have to be what it's about. I think is our message. If you're already a part of it. But I'm sorry, Brandon, go ahead.
Brendan like,
Right.
wait one fucking minute.
You not even in the game. You shut
Brendan
the
like,
fuck
wait
up.
one fucking minute. I did 3 tours just now in prison. Niggas like, I served in Iraq. He said, I served here.
Like, yeah.
And you gotta make it.
Like, I've been to Iraq.
Yeah,
You been like, I'm like,
yeah, Brendan's like, I served in Iraq.
What we not about to do? Right.
Yeah.
On Bragg Street.
Yeah,
Like,
Bragg Street.
Hey, yo, let me say
Same
something though. It's funny, but like, you know what Neighbor the Neighbor is?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Y'all all know what Neighbor the
Yeah,
Neighbor
yeah.
My
is.
son play ball.
Right, where's Neighbor the Neighbor?
In the hood.
Yeah.
What street?
Bragg.
On Bragg.
ain't the Boys and Girls
It's-
Club in the hood?
No,
The-
Yes,
but
it is.
Bragg is always in the hood.
But
But
okay,
Neighbor
that's
has
my
always
point.
been in the hood. Yeah.
Neighbor
Or
the Neighbor is
the-
one of the best places. I feel like it's just one of the best places to be because it does teach lessons. Like I've seen people doing the little basketball.
I mean, ain't nobody gonna. I mean, stuff that's on Bragg, of course. Any and everything happened over there, but at the same time, it's not how people make it look. Like people not just going around killing no kids and stuff.
But
Right.
that goes back. But that goes back to the
look out for
media.
the young
But
Thank
that,
you.
like,
hey,
yeah,
anything
like,
that goes on in our
so,
world,
yeah.
anything that goes on in our
And
world.
I stand on that. When the media be putting it out there saying how people in the hood doing this and doing that, that's false. I mean,
We only see the
kids
extremes though.
kids so happen to get shot sometimes and maybe a stray bullet or whatever, but it's nobody out there in the hood that's just
That's
going around
trying
looking to kill
to,
kids
yeah.
and nothing like that.
But that goes
So,
back to the difference
yeah,
in
I can
difference
stand
in.
on that. So,
But that goes back to
You
the
know.
difference in like so when people at my job ask me questions about the difference in the world, the two different cultures, right? I tell them you have mass shooters. You ain't never seen no black fucking mass
yeah,
shooter,
no,
and you
like,
have shooters.
yeah.
DC sniper.
Come on now, look
That
mean-
bird.
Did he not kill a lot of
All right,
people?
I mean,
facts. All right,
Was he not black?
that one?
mass
Courtney,
shooting, no.
Courtney, what's a mass shooting?
No, it
I
wasn't
mean,
mass
that's
shooting,
at one
though.
time I get it, but he was a serial killer.
All right.
Okay.
You got that one motherfucker. All right. All right. So, but my thing is that like you have like it irks my nerves when we have these two different types of people, right? For black folks, we going for who the fuck we going for. Like, if I got a problem with Billy Joe in the corner, guess what? I'm going for Billy Joe in the corner. Okay, Billy Joe in the corner, Tyrell in the corner. Like, I was thinking of a random ass
Billy
name.
Joe in the hood.
Right.
You never
Let me
know.
see.
It may
Let me-
switch
I'm
it up
messing
for
with
you,
you.
right?
Keisha lost her baby daddy because she's shooting Tyrone.
Right.
Like,
But you feel me? Like you going for that particular person, while mass shooters are going for blood.
Whoever. They going for
Whoever, They don't
numbers.
give a fuck. You feel me? Like they don't give a fuck. And that's the thing. And we were actually having a conversation about this because somebody posted about being a proud black daddy, and I was like, you guys don't have to worry about that. When a mass shooting happens, all they talk about is what? That this motherfucker got problems? That he
I
got
have
mental
my
problems?
own-
But if any of us went and shot up some shit, or if I went and shot whoever, you legit getting my rap sheet. And that's it.
So-
You're not getting what the fuck the issue is. I may have a mental problem too.
I have my own stereotypes about it.
About black
Now,
folks.
somewhere in my bloodline, I'm sure there's white in me.
Look at
somewhere.
light-skinned and blue.
First of all. But I have my own stereotypes about
Like
this
white.
mass shooter versus black
Thug life.
crime type of situation, and I feel like a big area of that is
We got
if little Dylan go lock himself in a room for 4 or 5 days, Samantha and Timothy not worried about what the fuck he doing. However, if Lil Tyrone is in his bedroom for more than 45 minutes.
Hold on, let me tell you something. Ain't no little Tyrone gonna be in his bedroom.
Hell no! What you up here doing? I told you to bring me the remote.
door
Like,
to my house.
ain't no ball breaking in that house.
First of all, my door couldn't be closed.
Ain't no door
Hey,
closed.
my mom would say, you ain't pay for that door, keep that fucking door open.
And then on top of that, Lil Tyrone don't have the funds or the means necessary to
To
go
pay for the
out
door.
and buy a a 45 or a rifle
Now they get
or
it
a
from the house.
shotgun.
No, they get it from the house. It's daddy's rifle that they go hunting with.
I
It's
don't
daddy's
give a fuck
guns.
about none of that.
Hey, look, let me tell you. But like the thing is too is that like education is everything when it comes to guns, because you know my daddy raises with guns all over the fucking house.
Mm-hmm.
My little brother at 6 years old, 7 years old, knew how to fucking put a gun together, clean it out, put like whatever. But that was just goes back to what we talked about earlier of like our parents being parents and not children.
Active in their
Yeah,
child's
active in
life.
child.
Active
I
in
never.
child's
My
life,
dad could lay a gun right here, and you think I'll touch that bitch? Hell no.
I was
Right.
scared. Whenever I see my dad,
Yeah,
his gun, I was
no.
scared to look at it. He said, that, "You want to touch it?" I was like, "I guess." I put my hands on it one time,
And
put
keep
it
it
down,
pushing.
and kept it moving.
That
I was
is
scared.
I
When
shot
I
a
was
gun.
around my nephew. Fuck no, that motherfucker. Hell no.
That's not the life right.
I
Yeah.
shot one gun one time, and when I saw that it was not like what the fuck I saw in the movies, I ain't
Yeah.
never touched a gun since.
Did you like shoot? It was like,
It was a shotgun. Like
Oh,
my
damn.
aunt,
You went.
golly, you.
my aunt has her
Straight to
own
a
land, so they did the little thing where they shoot the disc out and you try to shoot it.
Oh,
So
that,
they were
oh, that
trying
was
to.
skeet
bullet,
shooting.
though.
That's skeet shooting.
I don't give a fuck. When I shot it, it kicked back, and I had a bruise on my arm for like 4
Yeah.
weeks. I was like, never the fuck again.
You can't go from like a BB gun to a shotgun.
I've never shot a gun, period. That was the
She
one
went from-
time.
She went from Nerf gun to a shotgun.
I know, like, that was a heavy
First of all, at 10, 11, 12, nobody tells you about a fucking
B, we
kickback.
got questions up there?
Nobody tells you none of that shit. Like,
Let me say
oh,
something.
you
real
got a
quick,
lot
too.
of questions?
Shout out to the people.
There's so much stuff.
Shout out to y'all online
Yeah.
because y'all getting
The real.
the right now, the advanced
Uncut,
screening,
yeah.
the uncut. I mean, we don't really edit anyway, but that's
We
the
don't.
point is y'all getting it all right now, and I'm shout out to all y'all.
And for whoever's
These
watching,
people.
this is What They Won't Say, the podcast.
That's
Find
right.
us on Facebook. We have
We
a
out here.
website. We out here.
Graham.
Instagram.
And let me run back because you know we do what we normally do on What They Won't Say and get off subject. We done jumped all the way. We was talking about the youth.
Now we
We
were.
were.
I know.
So with all of that being said about the youth, if your child is bad and you know your child is bad, even
Beat
if
they
you want
ass.
to protect them,
Beat their ass.
beat
I'll
their
buy you a belt.
First of all, let me tell you something. Ooh,
Don't spill the
let me tell you
Got a funny
something.
belt story.
CPS is not going.
That's the issue, though. No, that's the issue.
I get
That's
it's
the
an
problem.
issue, but however, if every parent out here beat their child, they are not gonna take every child from every home.
Well, they charge you to adopt, and that's a fucked up issue too. But that's the issue, though. Like a lot of my friends, not you, but a lot of my younger friends that have children, and I know y'all know I don't give a fuck because I'm beating my nephew. We throwing hands, but a lot of people are not scared, but are scared to beat their children because they're scared that they're gonna get in trouble.
Fuck
Things
that.
are totally
Arrest
different
me.
now. No, right? Then I gotta take care of Jaden. What the fuck?
I told Jaden, first of all, Jaden thinks he can threaten me. I don't negotiate with terrorists.
Who?
So,
What?
Jaden. So he'll be like, oh, I'm not happy here. I want to go live with my dad.
What did I still live with
Okay. You want me to take your bus ticket
That's
now or
puberty.
later?
You know?
Yeah,
No.
that is.
Fuck
That's
that.
puberty.
Because I've heard of children telling their parents, oh, well, if you hit me, I'm going to call CPS. Nigga, I will dial the number for you.
First of all, let me
Call them.
Let me say
My mom used to
something.
kick me
Your
out.
children should not know. Your children should not know what CPS is.
Yeah, that's.
I had no clue because in New York it's called the BCW.
Yes, we did.
I had no clue who they were until
And I knew about
I
CPS
used to
because my
run
mother
the
was a social
No, I used to
worker.
run a grandma and grandpa, and I had this suitcase, right?
Exactly.
And I was like, fuck that, I'm going to, I ain't say fuck that, because my mom would have fucking bust my shit. I used to be like, I'm going to grandma and grandpa. Alright, I'm going to let y'all know, my parents raised me a little different. Like, I was on the other side of the tracks, right? So I used to be like, I'm going to grandma and grandpa's house, right? She mom was like,
Her
"Bob."
name is Becki, guys.
Alright, bitch, shut up, bro.
Hey, we got somebody to literally call Courtney. Let me
Yeah.
stop.
I used to pack my bags and be like, fuck you, I'm going to
call
mom.
me a bitch. You see this?
I don't be wanting to call
I call you a bitch. But I used to pack my bags like every other weekend to go to my grandparents' house. And finally my mom was like, fuck you, go to your grandparents' house though, bitch. You ain't gonna like it there, so go ahead and go. Because they got more rules than I do.
Yes.
And then I got there and I was like, fuck this shit. You want me to do what? Wash clothes? Hell, now I'm going back to my parents' house.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
I thank God every day for my mother, my father,
Facts.
my grandmother,
Yep.
Yeah.
my aunts, uncles, all of them kept me in line. If my dad, and I was disciplined, I mean corporal punishment, get my ass whooped. And if my dad had to hit me, it was something serious. Y'all can't see it, but there's a long stretch to the door. My dad pretty much hit me from where this couch is, and I slid to the door.
God,
Can I just say that this stretch is long, and for his daddy to have spent 27 years in Rikers to
He
have
got some
this
big
size house?
hands.
That's fucked up.
It's scary. It's scary,
He
and
been fucked up
I'm
for a long
glad that I
time.
would come up in a way where I've come up old school.
Right.
Kids
That's a good
these
way to put
days
it, old school.
they're
But
sensitive.
why does it have to be? Why can't we bring the old school back? Not to keep reiterating on your situation, Brandon, but your son and seen you through 3 tours,
I
and
like that shit, B.
you
You should
say
get that shit tatted. I get tatted. I don't give a fuck.
you say that he don't get in trouble. You say he's not a bad child. So I do understand that it's nature versus nurture. But at the end of the day, he's seen his dad go to jail 3 separate times and come home,
Well, that doesn't
and he's
make him-
still on the straight and
But
narrow.
that doesn't make him, because he went to 3 tours to Western Boulevard, doesn't make him a bad dad and teach him the same way that his mama taught
I'm
him.
saying, but there's kids out here whose parents haven't been in jail one time.
But that's I personally think his mama taught him the same way your mama taught him, the same way my mama taught me. You know, you feel me?
Right.
Because this motherfucker hid being a gangbanger until he was 20.
That's true.
You feel me? Like, so he's still raising his kid the same way that his mama raised him. It's just that he went on a different. I have a brother.
Yeah, but it's the key.
He went on a different path.
Are you keeping it close to eye?
Man, when the child get to that point where
All that weed over here.
when the child get to the point where
Coming
they
out.
feel like they can make they make a choice, and when they get to the point where they know they can do something wrong and hide it, that's what they gonna do regardless of what. So
I don't like that shit.
Back door.
I feel like I'm about to say shit.
like they'll hide it or whatever.
It's
Like I
dark
said,
back there. We don't play those games.
It's a gay pack.
I can tell you that from experience because I did it myself.
Randy, get on this side.
Yeah,
The
you
door
the
open,
gangster.
you're
The
the
kid.
side.
It's like, you got us.
They scared because it's dark out there.
Back, bro. I trust you, bro. Watch my back, bro.
But yeah, a child gonna make their decisions when they know they can do something and hide it from their parents. That's when they gonna do it. So
Right.
I mean, that's what I did. You know,
Yeah.
when I realized I could hide stuff and get away with it, that's what I did. So it's like you could say all you want. It's because they weren't raised right, or because it's. I know people who had both parents in the house.
Right, that's
Right.
true.
I
That's
know
true.
people with both.
And they doctors.
I know dudes from Bryan Creek right now.
That's true.
Who's
You're
out
right.
here on the block selling 20s or something like
That's
that.
true.
That's true. You're right about that.
That's true.
That's
you
true.
know, it's like
And
that's the goofiest shit in the world to me. I don't care. Sorry for
Don't
I
apologize. This is
never-
what they
I
won't
never,
say. You gotta
I
say
apologize for nothing
what
you
other
said.
people
Yes.
won't say.
I would never understand y'all if y'all listening. The dudes who had that silver spoon and had
Thank
everything.
you.
But you know that.
Please say it.
Hey, look.
say it.
That's just because, like, you know how, like in life, they feel like you're missing something.
They want to prove
They
themselves
want
to their
to
counterpart.
prove something.
They
Fuck.
fought with behind
Hey,
their
man, when you
like
get
you said,
everything
your
in,
friend, like I said, your
yeah,
friends
they
are
want to prove something.
I understand that, but it's I just never understood.
I'm not
even,
being funny.
Even when I was younger and in school and gang banging, or just in the hood, I never understood why
Like
people
when
that's
Trail
not
was
from
selling
the hood.
drugs. Yeah.
Why people that's not from the hood trying to hang in the hood? Why
Thank
you been
you.
here going to jail? Why you been here doing this and doing that, living poor when you don't have to? You can go home and have everything. I never understood
But
that.
that's
I'm not
the
being funny,
opposite side of
And that's what I'm saying. I'm not being funny on the other side of that. I know what B did. You know, even going to Broughton.
What do you do?
You know, all the people we hang out with. Never once did I ever look at B. Allegedly. Never once did I look at B and was like, man, I wish I could do that.
Right.
Nope. I took my black ass home to this house
Yeah.
in
And got your ass beat from the couch to the dump.
and not only that, I went in my
Did
room.
your homework?
Played my video games with played my PlayStation,
Right.
and enjoyed my life the way it was. I had no reason. My parents made sure I had no reason to look elsewhere for anything. And that's the way I was raised, and that's the way I grew up. Looking at my brothers, we were those people. we had everything, but for some reason they wanted something else. You know, shout out to both of my brothers. Thank goodness they are out and they doing well.
Right.
You know, like I said, one of them didn't make it because he wanted something else. And, you know, I don't know. I wish he had, you know, like I said, I wish y'all just had to stay home. Wish he had stayed home. You know? Dude,
yeah.
What?
I said your daddy looking at us.
Oh, he does from time to time. Yes, he does. So, but I wish we would just here. You know, just stay the way we were.
I think we got a question.
What's wrong? You good?
No, shout out to y'all too.
Yeah.
What they want to say.
Hey.
ABC just seen y'all, the ABC News, and they want to do another interview with me on, I think the day of it. So they
That's what I'm talking about.
They see y'all. Y'all out there.
That's what's up, but it's not even about us. It's about you. It's about what you doing. And that's awesome. I like it.
I love it.
ABC want to get you off of what they see on us, and that's what's up. I like
we
it.
here. Look, we all here.
If y'all want to do an interview with us, we available.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm happy. It's a good thing, though.
Yeah,
I love it.
Right.
Something Wilson, he just messaged me on Instagram.
Oh, we apologize for all the language too.
Oh yeah, we cannot curse.
We'll bleep ourselves out.
Hold on, let me see.
What do you say?
We'll bleep ourselves out for
no, not Lee Wilson, D Wilson.
Oh, nah, I don't know D Wilson.
But just coming back to today's topic, I really feel like parents these days, if y'all don't want to beat y'all's kids,
Send them to my house.
send them over to somebody like me who ain't
them to my
got no problem
Be an auntie, bro.
beating their kids. Cause my child, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I'm not saying I'm the perfect parent. I'm not saying that my child is the perfect child.
Facts.
But at the end of the day, what I can say is numbers speak for themselves. And my son averages on one ass whooping a year, and that ass whooping lasts him from day 365 to day 365. And then we gotta beat their ass. Sometimes you just
I'm not even being funny. Let me also say, because I didn't hit my child, my oldest child. This younger one, he a thug. I gotta really.
If they say your second or third child, don't
that
give a
second
fuck.
child,
And I'm the third child, and I could attest to
that
that.
third
Like,
child,
we don't give a fuck about nothing.
He don't care about nothing.
That's
But I'm not saying that. But he's genuinely, he's a good kid. We have to get back to the way the village raises a child, whether it be another adult, your teacher, your older brother or sister. These kids have to learn to start listening to authority figures. If somebody's telling you not to do something, it's probably because they feel like it's wrong or it's not good for you to do. Parents, stop looking at these adults and looking at them and saying, not my child.
Right. Facts.
Because then all of a sudden, not my child becomes my poor baby.
Right.
Cause y'all parents got a real bad reputation for like protecting your child with no questions asked.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you something. This is one memory that I share with my son every other week because I threaten him with it. And sometimes that's okay. But in 8th grade, when we first moved down here, I had a vocal problem. And y'all could probably tell that from the way I talk so much on these podcasts, but I couldn't shut the fuck up. So my science teacher emailed my mama one day, and my mama popped up in my school.
Wait, who was your science teacher?
Miss Steele, her old ass. She gotta be dead by now.
So many
My mama came, Miss Steele from Daniels Middle School.
That motherfucker was old, bro.
She had long gray hair, but she was thinning at the top. She gotta be
Let me
dead
tell
by
y'all
now.
something too right quick.
It don't matter.
Y'all, let's see, y'all on Instagram, a lot of people see y'all, so they ain't no telling y'all went to Broughton. Well, man, it's a teacher at Broughton, and she seen my article in the newspaper. She inboxed me.
She trying to slide in the
Who we talking about?
She trying to slide.
What she gotta do?
She inboxed me, telling me how proud of me she was and all that.
I bet
shit.
you was Tina.
Said,
She
said how I was her favorite student and shit. Like I was one of her favorite students and stuff. I always been. Man, listen here. She lying.
She lied.
It's a lot of y'all teachers that wrote and who told us we would never be. We wouldn't
You
be.
said you lying?
Man, listen, last conversation
I was excited for the story.
Yeah, me too, man. She lied.
That one was cussing me out at graduation. I she ain't never liked me, man. I don't know why she fronting.
That's wild.
Right, she just with you because of the attention. She just, she's my favorite.
But the thing is that you probably surprised a lot of motherfuckers out there.
That's what it
it ain't she proud of you, she's surprised by you. It's the difference. Is that they like to use and finagle fucking words to make us feel better about ourselves.
Right.
We are proud of you because we know you. Yeah. We are proud of you. That bitch is surprised by you. Cause trust me, when I pull up to Brian and I'm dropping that, when I pull up to Brian, I'm like, oh, a kid having a seizure, I got you. Them niggas they not surprised. They surprised by what I became. They not proud of me. They're surprised by what I can because I was a fucking little softball basketball player. That's all it was.
And I know it's a lot of people. Well, it's some people that's outside of the state of North Carolina that don't understand what we talk about when we say that we came from Broughton. Let me explain something, and this is the easiest way I can explain it. Broughton is the school that passed up John Wall.
Hey,
so there you go.
Pause.
Hey, shout out to
Talk about. We're not gonna go there.
I'm just saying. The only reason why I say that.
Wall, and RIP to his mama, because his mama just passed away.
That's
shout out to Wall. You know,
but the only reason I bring that up is because it's people that I know for a fact listen in Georgia, and I need them to know that Broughton, they were predominantly white.
Yes.
And they did pass up John Wall. So when you look at John's Wikipedia, when you look up Wikipedia and you see Word of God, that is not where he started.
He started
at Broughton.
That's not where he started.
He started with my brother Brock.
Hey.
Shout out
to Brock.
Still doing his thing. Still hitting them threes.
Right.
And that motherfucker about 35, 36.
Still killing.
But I'm not saying it to say that Broughton was not a good school.
Nah.
I'm just saying the reason that we're referencing it to that is because our high school came from white students that were predominantly white that had doctors and lawyers as moms.
Right,
and then you had the outskirts of people like us that took, like,
I'm not really outskirts.
If you didn't have a polo shirt with pop collar, you look kind of funny.
Because Malik and I came from this hood. We came from this hood called The Ridge. We only had one bus stop. It was all niggas. It wasn't no white people on the bus.
Did we? No, we didn't.
And let me tell you, that's the type of school we came from. That's
but look, I can say this though, like about Broughton, and I think I'm on like I said before, I'm on the other side of the train tracks.
Her name is Becki.
Nah, but I came from the Lake Boone Trail side of things.
I lived over there for a period.
Right. When you lived with me?
I lived there on my own.
Yeah, the Lake Boone Trail side of things. I also think that Broughton.
That was with them.
Huh?
That with them.
Yeah, I know. I also think that Broughton has taught all of us as young black individuals a lot of different things. You know what I mean? A lot of different things of how to handle the world as a whole. Because you're right, we had to deal with so many different things. When I was in college, when I went to college, I went to a local college, and I actually did a project. And I know it's kind of off topic, but not really. I did a project at Broughton about just about how like people are treated different at schools or just, like in our culture, and it was about like having hall passes.
Right.
It doesn't make it makes sense to like some people, but about having hall passes. And there was a certain type of person that could walk around with no hall pass, and a certain kind of person that couldn't. And I give you an example is I was a softball player, basketball player, student council, class council, like National Honor Society, all that shit, right? And I could walk around with no hall pass without a problem. You know what I mean? And you get somebody that
I could.
You get fucking Brandon.
I would walk off campus with no hall pass.
Yeah,
I was skipping like a
motherfucker. They would never question me,
right?
At all. They would never question me. But let Brandon walk down the hall with me, and they'd be like, "Brandon, where your hall pass at?" And he'd be like, "Bro, I'm just going to the bathroom." You know, and I could keep it pushing and never be questioned at all.
By the way, I hated those agendas.
Yeah, I mean that's a type of school we came up in.
Yeah, that's the type.
Broughton high school was like Broughton was racist, but at the same time, Broughton was a good school,
Mm-hmm.
man.
It was.
It was a great.
I met a lot of good people, learned a lot of stuff at Broughton, but I can't lie to y'all either.
I love you.
A lot of that shit that happened to me at Broughton was my fault, man. I stayed.
There you go.
Hey,
That's
and
what
I
taking
respect that.
responsibility
I
is
respect that. I
about.
respect that,
Yeah.
man. And that's what's wrong with our generation right now. It's responsibility.
You can't
And
take responsibility.
my
I was
nephew,
no good at Broughton.
right? My nephew, I be like,
So was
yo.
I. In a different.
And we all fucking was. I just
Stop
was
that.
like, some people were fortunate not to have a pass. Like, but
Yeah,
my
so-
nephew has that issue now. Like you're saying right now, my nephew, I'd be like, yo, why you slap the shit out of that girl? He'd be like, well, she did not, motherfucker.
What did you do?
responsibility
Right.
For my nephew never slapped no girl. I'm gonna tell you that right now. But I'm just saying is that like he doesn't know how to take responsibility for what he did to get his consequences.
Right.
And what Brandon just said, the fact of like, hey, look, the shit the reason why I got in trouble
I
was 'cause of
fucked
what
up,
I
right.
did. You know what I mean? It wasn't. They weren't trying to set me up. They weren't trying to set me up. I fucked up.
Right.
And that's what's wrong with our generation is that we baby their asses. Everybody's still on the fucking breast for some
And that
reason.
goes back to what Malik says when a parent steps in and be like, nah, that couldn't have been my child. Then the child is looking at it like, nah, it couldn't have been me.
Right.
Nah,
It wasn't me.
Yeah.
But-
That happened to me. I mean, shit. You know how many times my mama cussed out Mr. Martin? You know what I'm saying? I was guilty as hell. You know what I'm saying?
But that was
Mr.
an evil
Martin
man
said-
anyway, so I'm just
When they
gonna.
used to say me and
Yeah, he was different, bro.
me and Uzi was in gangs and stuff like that in school, and we go because we got away with it with my mother because it was a time when Mr. Martin did harass us for something
Right.
we didn't do.
Right.
So when we told her that, like, man, he just don't like us. Now she can jump on our side.
Right.
But honestly,
Mama was-
And that's the best.
Yeah.
That was the best line you could say to any mother.
Yeah.
You just don't like us.
Protect their baby boy.
Yeah.
And then they see his skin color and they compare it to their skin color, and it's
Exactly.
like, yeah,
And
race
y'all
plays a thing too.
Y'all
It's-
think we'll ever get away from that?
Hell no.
Hell no.
Hell no.
Never.
It's just gonna get worse.
I was just asking.
You know what though? Let me say something because we gonna stay live with B over here, but we gonna have to wrap this up. It's like the longest episode we ever
Hey,
ran.
man, this
But
shit
it's
real.
about real shit. Cause
This
like
shit real,
at the end
bro.
of the day, I can look at Jaden and, and
You stupid.
in the moment I could be like, okay, tell me what happened. Okay, just putting this all out there.
Go ahead.
My son attempted to start a food fight at school.
I would have beat his food
Recently.
ass.
Actually,
And he went
I'm cool as hell.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sit around. As a guy, I'm like, that's kind of dope. That's something I've always wanted to do.
No.
I always wanted to do that.
Yeah.
So
Ass
he
is all
had
you guys
See that
ass.
shit on Family
he
Guy.
had the principal the principal called me and I found out about it. So the principal tells me the story. At the end of the day, it came from Jaden trying to follow his friends. So that's why we had him look up the definition of what an accessory is.
Okay.
Oh,
So
that's funny.
it came out, and the principal, as he was talking to me, he was like, this is out of Jaden's character.
Right,
I've
right,
never
right.
seen anything like this happen. And his consequence. So Jaden goes to school in Chapel Hill. I have to tell you this because the next sentence is not going to make sense. So his consequence for that day was not going to chess club. And his whole heart was broken because he loves chess club. I don't even know how to fucking play chess.
I could see
But
that.
Jaden knows how to play chess.
No,
So,
you
whatever.
that's what you do though. You take
Right.
away something that the kid love. I don't
So
care what it
Jaden,
is.
but right. So Jaden was hurt. So I called
Hey, be
Jaden.
laughing too much, bro. I'm like, what you saying, bro?
Now my wife, she just said,
Oh,
Yeah,
she
wrap
missed
it
her
up.
husband. We gotta wrap it up.
See?
Hey,
So,
man, hey, we didn't
almost
see
done.
it. Wait,
We almost done.
bro.
Look, they
This
jumped
is
over the
it.
line.
Yeah,
Hey.
like, how long
yeah,
is
I
it?
only kidding though. See,
The
Like,
kid.
we haven't seen B in years.
Right, man.
A
This is
little
a
bit
reunion,
more time.
AKA.
A little bit.
Yeah.
So,
Shout out to your wife, though, for
right.
allowing us to
Because
keep
I
you.
saw that you a married family man. Look
Yeah,
at
what
you.
the fuck going on? Shout out to your man, bro.
I'm cool about
Not me. I'm sorry.
So,
Man, Malik, you been a grown man, grown up since high school. Hey, no, on some GC.
The only kid
I never in my life
met
ever
somebody.
seen somebody actually married in high school.
Yes,
You married
look,
in
I was married in
Yeah,
high school.
when they told me that.
When you worked at McDonald's.
Yes, when I was
Yeah,
working at McDonald's.
Hey,
Him and his
you
wife
stay
worked
with
there.
the
You know,
Yes,
You
you
know
stay
why
with
I
the French
brought
fries, bro.
Fuck me.
Yo, me and Terrence Daniels used to used to fuck up some McDonald's.
And that was, he used to work with me too.
Lil T. Hey, shout out to Lil T.
Hey,
he be watching.
You know, I was with y'all when he came to
Yes.
the
Hey, I love that dude.
But
man.
yes,
Shout
I
out
was
to him.
married.
He in LA doing his
Yeah,
thing. I
Lil T doing
appreciate
big
you.
things,
T.
man.
TD, that's my
He
best
said
friend.
I've been a grown man since.
Hey, that's facts. I know who you is. I know you.
Yeah, I was married. I got
I
married
know
in
he was
March.
booed up hard body booed up.
What
But
was it, 11th grade or 12th grade?
No, it was 12th grade. I
12th
was
grade,
married March 23rd.
somebody told me that
2006, middle
said-
school.
Oh, they got married the other day. I'm like,
Yeah.
they really
Yo, we
got
gotta-
married. They're like, I'm like,
So let's switch subjects for
That was
real
my,
quick. Just so y'all know the status, it's married on his second,
hey,
Yeah, on my second.
married on his first, engaged.
Hey.
What's the word?
Still
What's the word?
single.
Affiance.
A situation. What was the last episode? A boy situation.
Please, no. What
A
is
man
it?
situation.
What is it? I'm gonna do it
A
now.
man friend.
You have what?
A boy
What do you
friend.
have?
I have a friend boy.
A friend boy.
We have upgraded. We are exclusive.
Oh, that's your nigga.
Oh, so what is he now?
That's my whole nigga.
So it,
That's your nigga.
That's my nigga.
That's your nigga.
so wait, what is he?
So he's
a-
invited
what
to
is he?
Christmas?
Like, oh, do y'all have a ghost? Did y'all have a ghost? Just
I heard that shit, but I ignored that
Yeah.
bitch because I don't play with that.
That's so
He
funny.
is my
I bring the Holy
boyfriend.
Ghost over here. I bring the fucking oil over here if you need
There's
it.
nobody. No, this. I promise you, that's been happening since ever.
Yeah,
He's
right. That
he's
motherfucker
my
been-
boyfriend. He's my boyfriend.
Yo, he said that shit.
No,
Does
I
he-
said that
Does
shit.
he know it? Wait.
I mean, I guess he knows
Wait,
it
pause.
now.
Do you date him or does he? Do y'all
No,
date
we
each
date
other?
each other.
Cause you know how that shit is. Cause I've been with bitches that like.
I'm not in
they
a
date me,
situation.
but I'm
Let me
dating
tell you something
them.
to
No, we are dating each other. What?
Huh?
Say that again.
He said, "Cut this shit short. We gotta go."
No, tell me after we finish.
I'll tell you after we finish.
Great.
We'll go around that.
I'm about to say, cause like I said, I dated bitches. Oh no.
Whoa, whoa!
Bitches dated me, but I didn't date
Don't
them.
call him
No,
that.
Females
apparently.
dated me, but I didn't date. B know what I'm talking about. B know
Yeah.
when you
Don't be
date
shaking your
what you
head.
love,
We're official.
Alright.
It's no more friend boy. I am done with the friend boy.
I'm so proud of you because I watched that episode and I was like, this bitch right here. I texted her, what the fuck is this? I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yo,
But I
shout out
did
to
want to
you doing that. Thank you for
Oh,
watching.
no, all. Hey,
I
I'm
did
support
want
all
to
y'all.
reiterate. So for anybody from Broughton looking, I just want to reiterate that Broughton was a good school. However, they kind of put us on the lower end of the spectrum. So it's kind of like they didn't really have much hope for us. But we have a reformed gang member, as
Y'all
specified by WRAL. We have
Dun, 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 dun.
a person that works very professionally. We have another person
that works very
I feel you.
and he was a member of the military.
Right, facts.
And
Shout
then
out
you
to
have
the
a
Air Force.
recently graduated.
Hey! Yes! With the degrees in the building.
So we are out here cranking out professionals. So I don't want you guys to think that just because you came from somewhere that was not necessarily the best product that you were raised in, that that's where you have to finish. Because if anybody in this room can show that you can change and you can progress, is this man right here to the right of me. And I've known him. Unfortunately, we didn't get to really hang out when I was in high school.
Right.
But we have hung out like after high school, and up until this point, he's a family man, he's a father, he's a husband. Like everything is good on this
He
end.
was
Like
good people before that.
right,
Even
he's
without that
never
title.
right. He's
And that's it,
never.
Hey, look, I'd never like be on some real shit. Even though I knew like your movements, I never thought of you as a
And
gangbanger. Because you like, and also like all motherfuckers in Broughton that probably had a flag hanging out their pocket were just as sweet as the next nigga without a flag hanging out
I've
their
never
pocket.
heard anybody say a cross word
Yeah,
about
like
you.
all, and regardless of what color the flag fucking
Right.
was, all y'all motherfuckers were
Got along.
Yeah, it wasn't. No, I ain't never heard. Like I said,
Hey,
what
shout
happened in the streets?
out to my man
There you go.
Winston Kirby too.
Yes, hey,
I saw that.
Yes,
He a lawyer now too, man.
yes, bro, yo.
Hey.
Yes.
Hey,
That was my boy.
I seen that shit
that's
on
what I'm saying. Like
Facebook,
I'm
bro.
always.
dancing and shit, man. Nah, it's good because Winston White. He's a white guy.
Yeah.
But I work. Mm-hmm. I actually worked for a friend I graduated high school with too last year. I actually worked for him for a few months. Doug Watkins. We always been good friends.
Yeah.
But yeah, he
Okay.
it's like so many friends I have that from Brooklyn that's done reached out to me because, you know, they like what I'm doing now and how I change and stuff like that. So, you know, I shout out to all y'all, man, and everything. What year? 2015.
Yeah.
Be in jail and actually see somebody I was very tight with in school, Malik. He worked in the jail, and to actually see him in as a CEO, it was just like, it was crazy. It's just like, he's not the first person. Shonda McLeod, shout out to her. I remember years ago when she worked in jail, like years ago, back in like 2008.
Okay.
You know, it's been a couple of people I seen, and they used to make me think like damn, like, you know, like, how did I get here and they get there, you know, like, but that's life, you know, it all falls back on the decisions I made. Right. So that's one thing I always push towards the kids that I mentor. You got to make the right decision. You try to make the best decision, because in a split second, that person right there who in trouble, his life could be your life, you know, very quick. It could happen like one wrong turn or anything could happen. So, you know, anytime I went to jail, I didn't wake up that morning planning to go to jail. So it happens, you know, anything can happen, and you always gotta make the best decision, you know. But our life, this is how I see it. Our life is it was already written, and things happen for a reason. I mean, like, I'm not doing nothing major now, but I'm doing something better than what I was.
Don't say that.
But we not gonna do it. We not about to downplay it because you are doing something amazing. You may not get paid for it, but you're definitely getting praised.
Think about the lives that you're changing right now, bro.
Okay, I'm not where I want to be.
All right.
But, okay, we'll accept that. I guess.
I'm doing better, but my thing is this: I don't regret nothing.
Right, bro.
Nothing.
We gonna take L's here.
Nobody I met, nothing. Every second of my life led up to this second right here. So that's how I see. That's how I try to see life all the time. Every second of my life I ever been through, every second of my life led up to this second. So, you know, just always try to make the best decisions, man. That's all I can say on that, man. Cause temptation and things gonna come your way, like regardless of what it is, whether it's the streets or whatever. You know, hell, I say stay far away from the streets as possible. But you know, some people like didn't have a choice. Some people was right there in the streets at birth. So, you know, the best I can always say is make the best decisions, because I can't sit here and tell you don't go this route, don't go that route, when I went it myself. You know, and I know how easy it is to fall back into that route again. So, you know, if I always try to do the right thing, put it like that.
Absolutely.
I always try to do the right thing.
With B wrapping that up so eloquently.
That was good, yeah.
We're going to go ahead and wrap this thing up because we've been at it for an hour and 30 minutes. This has been the longest What They Won't Say episode, and this was perfect for it to be the end of the year.
There will be some edits in this one. Just because. But so the people that's watching live, they got the raw episode.
Yeah, you got the raw
y'all
shit,
good.
Everything.
Y'all got it all.
And,
shout out to the people watching on live.
Y'all keep God first too, man.
Always.
Man, look, man. Since I put God in my life, man.
That's
what I'm saying. Since I put God in my life, man.
And today's Sunday.
Blessed,
shout
man.
out.
Everything been going.
Today is Sunday.
You know, things been going better for me in my life since I put God in it, man. You know, keep God first, man. All I can tell you, man. That's what I'm doing now, man. It's working.
There it is.
Right.
You know, it's working.
Hey,
So
everything
that's it.
in life, what he said, put God first, is always ask questions. Also, if you need guidance in anything, shit, hit him up, hit her up, and hit anybody up.
Anybody,
don't.
Y'all got kids y'all want me to talk to anything? I do it for free.
Y'all got kids y'all want to
That's
get
what I
beat.
do. So you know, I just want to help people, man. I don't want no kids to go through what I've been through.
It takes a
You know,
village, right?
that's my purpose for what I do. I don't want kids to I don't want nobody to have to get no inmate number and stuff like that. I got an inmate number in North Carolina. It'll be my inmate number forever. Like, you know, anytime I ever been back to prison, that was my same number. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what they identify you as. You know what I'm saying? Then,
you go from Brandon to a fucking number easy.
Yep.
Easy.
That's simple.
Please don't
Well, it
become...
technically started in school because we started with the lunch number.
You know what?
Right.
Stop
Hey,
it.
shout
With
out
that being said,
So I can't have my last word.
with that being said,
Hey, R.I.P. the Hitman too. Double.
oh
Hey,
man, definitely.
We
R.I.P.
can't
Vito,
pour
nigga,
nothing out because we in
y'all,
a house.
Yeah.
But
Hey, we're drinking
But I will take a sip for you.
Yeah,
Hey, free Uzi.
Water over.
And
free Uzi.
Hey, we'll see you when you get home, bro.
Right.
Hell yeah.
So with that being said, let's go ahead and wrap this thing up. Any last words, Becki?
Hey, shout out to y'all for
Her
having
name
me.
is Becki.
Hey, my name is legit Becki. For all the motherfuckers that be like, nah, it can't be. She black. It's Becki,
It's
bro.
Becki.
And can I just preface? I haven't talked to her about it yet, but Becki will be back when we are back to talk about the alphabet people. The alphabet people. She gotta come.
And I'm back.
Oh, and we can. And look, just so y'all know, so I can put it out there. We gonna talk about the alphabet people.
Hey, yo, I have never heard it. It's a lot of things I've never heard when it comes to alphabet people, apparently. But I've never heard it be called the alphabet people, probably because I'm only worried about the L and the whole alphabet, but I've never been heard that.
But for those of you who don't know what we're talking about the LBGT, whatever.
Bro.
LGBTQIA+.
It's like LGBTQ.
Because it's like 17 of 26 letters. So we're not going to worry about it. She'll be back for it. B, what's your last words? Put God first. I got it.
Yeah, what I said. Oh yeah. I don't know if I can do this on this podcast.
Do it.
Nah, do you.
Do it.
Hey, this ain't got nothing to do with nothing we spoke on, but these my mans right here, Forevermore. They're my partners right there. Y'all check them out. Check their music out. FIU, y'all check their music out too, man. They're my bros right there, man.
Hey, there you
You know what
go.
I'm saying? The Uzi coming home soon, man. It's going down.
Shameless
Real.
plug.
At FIU, if you do music, we need a theme song that we don't have to.
But we promised the barber.
Hey, man, hey, check
just
this
kidding.
out.
I'm just kidding.
And we in the building, like I said, I appreciate
And
me.
shout out to my wife, Gabby.
Yes, hey, shout out to Gabby.
Because you locked him down.
Shout out to y'all both being together.
Right.
When he knows about it, you know about it.
Hashtag Black Love.
Like that be happening.
Y'all stupid.
What's your last word?
All I got is, y'all know what this is. This is what they won't say.
Episode 8.
Episode
Shout out to
8.
what
Last
they won't say
episode
too, man.
of the year.
Episode 8.
We basically going into next year starting season
Say
2.
what?
Right.
That's what's happening.
We're
This is
taking
the
a
season
winter
finale,
break.
baby.
But we will definitely see you in 2020. This is what they won't say.
doing
Episode
big
8.
shit.
We doing big shit. We doing big shit.
We doing it.
So make
All
sure you
y'all.
check us out. Catch this wave while it's going.
Woo.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Heidi, what up?